The Volquest 2-minute drill is brought to you by Craven Wings.
Alongside Brent Hubbs, I'm Austin Price. Craven Wings 2-minute drill. Tennessee wins 38-33 over Florida. I would say you saw it, so you got to believe it, but I'm not even sure you were in so much pain where you straddled that fence yesterday making your picks. I'm not sure you were able to even kind of digest everything, right?
All right, well, for the couple of guys who told me walking from the parking garage to the stadium to man up and make a pick, those guys were sweating right at the end. Because,
who wasn't in the stadium sweating?
Exactly, and I mean, that's this series. You know, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, Bob Kessling said on the air when Tennessee went up 17, basically he was getting ready to play the Don Meredith, turn out the lights, the party's over. And I'm like, hey, if you remember the last 25 games in this series, crazy things happen. Crazy things tried to happen. Tennessee found a way. Florida fans are going to be talking a lot about Billy Napier's decision to go for two early, chase points early. But the story of this game is Hendon Hooker,
Sure
this Tennessee offense. I mean, look, 1,200 yards of offense between two teams. There's a ton of things for Tennessee's defense to work on. But how do you not sit here and just rave about what Hendon Hooker did? Unbelievable.
Oh, I mean, no doubt about it. Almost 350 yards passing. He had 112 on the ground, which is a career high. Joins Josh Jobs, who was in attendance, as the two Vol quarterbacks to throw for 300 and rush for 100 in a game. I mean, he was dynamite. Went to the medical tent a couple times. Didn't matter. He was pushing through. He obviously wasn't in that bad shape because he walked in there with no ice or anything on his shoulder. But Tennessee gets that bye week at a perfect time because, and Josh Heupel said it afterwards, got to get healed up. Cedric Tillman, they have great faith, because he had a procedure, after, about middle of the week on his ankle. Same procedure Tua had, Brent, that allowed Tua to get back really fast. And it's that procedure a lot of people are doing with high ankle sprains because it allows you to get back on the field sooner rather than later. High hopes for LSU, I think, get worse by Bama.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of guys are going to this way because it just stabilizes the ligament so that there's a healing process that takes place. They need Cedric Tillman back. But tip of the cap to Ramel Keaton.
Oh, that diving catch.
Unbelievable. Brew McCoy, we've been talking about more targets for Brew McCoy. Brew McCoy played well. I mean, really, guys stepped up. And again, I've said this.
Jalen Hyatt continued to play really good football.
They
schemed it up, got Jacob Warren running free.
I mean, I don't want to say you don't have to have good receivers in this program because you do, and receivers should want to come play here. This guy, talking about Alex Golesh and Josh Heupel, they're going to get you open. And they got people running free today. Hendon Hooker made a couple of really good skill throws, and then there's a couple times just don't overthrow it because there's nobody in the zip code.
Yeah, I asked Hendon Hooker, I said, did you all go so fast? Did you even have time to see him, how much he laid out? And he goes, well, I saw it in real time. I'm like, yeah, okay, right. From 40 yards away. Yeah. I mean, what Ramel Keaton did, I joked at halftime, I said, he's this generation's Bobby Graham. I mean, that was a huge catch on that 99-yard drive. Tennessee goes all the way down the field, gets the lead at halftime, comes out, adds to the lead. Now, it was a back and forth all night because they could not stop Florida's passing game. I mean, look at what Anthony Richardson did. Throws for 453 yards. That's more than he had thrown for the first three games combined. I mean, the secondary was just bad. But Tennessee also stopped the run. They forced Florida to throw.
Yeah, they did, and I think that was part of the plans. They wanted him to throw and see if he could make throws. Tennessee's got to tighten up their covers. This bye week comes at a good time. Maybe they can get a D. Williams healthy. I don't know. We'll see where Warren Burrell is. They need more competition at the corner. They've got to tighten things up all across the board in the secondary. There's zone drops at linebacker. There's plenty of things for those guys to work on without any question. Back to Keaton, the fact that he held on to the ball, laying out like that was unbelievable. And again, when Tennessee had to make a play, they found a way to make a play. Here's the thing, too. You mentioned the middle eight, as coaches like to talk about. Last four the first four the second. How many times has Tennessee played Florida and they've won that? It's been a one-possession game. Florida gets a late touchdown right at the half. They get the ball in the second half. Game's over. Tennessee did that to Florida tonight because when you got a two-possession lead, you told me this at the half, so if they get a two-possession lead, it's going to be hard for Florida to win because they can't stop Tennessee. The only person that stopped Tennessee tonight was Tennessee because Tennessee never punted the football.
I said this on the board in the chat. Nothing Florida did. And I know Anthony Richardson threw for 453, and it was down to a throw at the end, but nothing about that Florida team scared. It should have scared anybody here. Tennessee had their way offensively. They did whatever they wanted to do. Jabari Small, second half, ran the ball, I thought, really well. He got to 90 yards for the football game. This after having his shoulder knocked out of socket last week and him being questionable throughout the week. No, Dylan Sampson didn't have to go to him tonight. They didn't play Jalen Wright a whole lot. I mean, Hendon Hooker was the de facto running back, and we talked about that all week long.
Yeah, it certainly was. And look, we're going to talk a lot about the defense over the course of the next week, because after the euphoria of this win settles, there's going to be everybody on the board is going to be wanting to know about the defense. A couple of guys stood out on defense today. Omari Thomas played the best game he's played at Tennessee. Really clogged up the run, forced a fumble, had a batted pass. Omari Thomas is starting to really grow into that position, I think. Thought he played really well today. Byron Young got there a little bit. I still think more Joshua Joseph.
I agree. He almost got to him down here in the end zone.
And he almost got him again right there. He had almost 2 sacks in the first 4 snaps he was on the field. Bye week comes at a great time for him to really settle in on some of his technique stuff. I think you're going to see him more and more the back half of this season.
4-0 for the first time since 2016. That year, Tennessee beat Florida. They beat Georgia on the Hail Mary to Juwan. And then guess what? They had to go next week to College Station, Texas, then play Alabama. This year, they get a bye week. That's a huge deal, I think, in the breaking the schedule. There's not a 4-week juggernaut run this year. Now, they'll play LSU and Bama back-to-back, and that'll be a nice 2-game stretch. But then you play UT Martin. You never have that long run they had in 2016. I think all that builds and helps Tennessee as they kind of matriculate through this football season. He's Brent Hubbs. I'm Austin Price.
Hey, I believe it. I guess now, since I saw it, right?
Craven Wings 2-minute drill. Don't forget the Seymour and Choteau locations on Sunday after church. Great spot to go and get some grub.
So I got to make a pick next week?
There is no pick next week.
I got to make a pick next year in this game?
Yes, you do.
Okay. Craven Wings, check them out.
When you're craving wings, it's got to be Craven Wings. Online at cravenwings.com.